So got the series win. What are some positives you can take away from the weekend?
I thought we pitched it really well this weekend for the most part. We're doing a really good job of not giving free bases. I thought Joe Corbett, obviously he was outstanding Friday night. That's the Joe that we've seen all fall, and really he hasn't been as sharp the first two outings, but this past weekend he was really good, and I expect him to keep getting better as the year goes on. And then obviously Darren Cook had another really good start, and then Zach Dixon for his first start of the year was really good. He was a little shaky in the first inning, threw a ball away and really shouldn't have given up any runs, but once he settled in, he was really good as well. And I thought our bullpen did an outstanding job all weekend long. Dom Yurgo obviously got 2 saves out of it, but then Chandler Dean threw well. Really just I think we threw about 10 or 11 guys this weekend, 1 through 11 on the mound. I thought we did a really good job. Things we got to get a lot better at offensively. Still the execution. We're leaving way too many runners on base right now, especially runners at third with less than 2 outs. That's something that we have got to clean up, once we get more into our conference season.
I was going to ask about that. I know you brought it up last week, this week. Many times you had 3 men on, no men out, scoring those 1 runs. So I know
I hadn't dove into the numbers yet, but I know there's at least 3 or 4 times we had bases loaded, nobody out, and was only able to get a run in each of those times. One time I don't think we got any runs in. That stuff cannot happen if we're going to be as good as what we expect to be. Those are things that we talked about all week last week. We worked on in practice and everything, and obviously those things that we did last week didn't really work, so we'll try something new this week, and hopefully it'll start cleaning itself up.
What does it take to maximize those situations? Is it just an approach at the plate, or just understanding how they're pitching?
Yeah, a lot of it is just the approach. And then just a grinded out mentality. If you do get to 2 strikes, is just having that mentality of knowing what we need out of it right there, and that's obviously not a ground ball in that situation or an infield fly or a strikeout. Those are the things that we're doing right now, so it's, and a lot of it is just the pressure they're putting on themselves. This team cares, and that's a good thing, so I think they're putting a little bit too much pressure on themselves in those situations, and I think once we get deeper into the year, those things kind of clean itself up on its own.
If you just kind of talk about just in the dugout, because I'm there, I'm hearing those guys talk. It just seems every time something that doesn't really go your guys' way, you hear at least one person say, "It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter." Talk about just kind of that.
Yeah, we've had that the last few years. Really, is it's just one pitch at a time, and if something bad does go on, listen, it's not going to be the end of the world. We know we're talented enough to be able to come back if we're down, and we were down a couple times this past weekend, and really the first 3 weeks of the year we've been down a lot, and it's just they're not panicking right now. They they play it 1 inning at a time, and our goal is to always try to win every inning, and they're doing a pretty good job of that. So I think if we can continue with that, we'll be pretty successful.
And then one person at the plate I've seen that's been at least pretty consistent has been Clay Kelzer. Can you get tied?
Yeah, Clay. He's really good right now, and really, a lot of our guys, especially the game 2, the game that we lost. Listen, we had some pretty good at bats there, and we hit some balls hard. And Clay's been really hitting a lot of balls hard, and it didn't have a lot to show for it this past weekend. And that's baseball, Sometimes you're going to square up a ball and barrel it up, and it's going to go right at somebody. And then sometimes, you're going to have a 10-hopper through the infield that gets through, or a duck fart in the outfield and stuff. So that's baseball, but Clay's doing a really good job. But really, all of our guys, even our guys on the bench, Jake Peterson, who's not getting a lot of starts right now, he's coming in off the bench and doing an outstanding job, coming up with huge hits late in the game for us, and that's huge for us.
Away at St. Mary's this week. Talk a little bit about that matchup.
Huge in-region games. Anytime you go on the road in region, it's going to be tough. They're always one of the top teams in the region. They've got a beautiful park down there. Really excited to be the first time that in 11 years that I've been down to their place, and really excited about going down there. Their coach is doing an outstanding job, and I think it'll be one of the biggest matchups in the region this weekend.